What's going on? What's going on, my people? How's everyone doing tonight? I am Alvin King, host of He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned black man's perspective. Thank you all for joining us tonight and for being here on this beautiful April the 28th wintry. Yep, wintry evening. Do you all believe it? It is where I am, it is freezing. Last week, it was summer. It was summer for real, ladies and gentlemen, last week. But today it is cold. I even put my sweaters away last weekend thinking that, the cold weather has gone. But that is not the case. But at any rate, I am in a warm, safe environment with all of you. How are you guys doing tonight? And again, thank you for joining us on our show. We have another Let's Get Newsy 8 for you guys. So much is going on in the world, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you. Also, I want to take this time because I am not necessarily a football guy until the playoffs of anything, but the first round NFL draft is going on, and for me, it is so refreshing to see some of the faces on some of these men whose lives are changing right before their very eyes, and the opportunity that's awaiting them to be a part of a football team that I'm sure they've worked tremendously hard for. So congratulations to all the guys who have made it through the first round NFL draft. And if anybody, for all you TikTok people, and you don't have to give me credit, but I need someone to create the faces of the mothers or the parents after their children have been told that they're going to be making millions and millions of dollars. Please put some music to that and create something on that, because I think that would be so cute. Hey, Blue, how you doing? Also, ladies and gentlemen, um, Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and her football star husband, Jonathan Owens. They kept it simple for this little courthouse wedding last Saturday, April 22nd. The 26-year-old and 27-year-old Owens officially exchanged their vows during an intimate ceremony held at a Texas courthouse while surrounded by their close friends and family. And I'm telling you, for what I've been reading, it was so quick that Simone's sister missed the wedding because they decided to do what they did last minute. The Olympic gold medalist, she wore a stunning white ruffle gown that she paid $120 for, ladies and gentlemen. And she revealed on Instagram afterwards that she picked out her ensemble days before online via Amazon rather than going to see it in person, because again, this is what they wanted to do. Now, a destination wedding for 130, 140 people, 130 to 140 people is underway. No details have been disclosed, and it will be announced. But I also wanted to say right now that all you haters, there are people out there hating on Simone Biles for what she wore, and you should see some of the comments that these social media trolls are throwing at her about how she looked. I mean, first of all, most of them who are doing it probably don't even have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Okay, so if you did, you wouldn't have time to give her grief for doing something that happy. So I'm gonna leave it right there. She looks stunning, and he looks stunning, and I'm wishing them nothing but the best. Speaking of the best, a gentleman by the name of William Smokey Robinson Jr. He's an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and former record executive. He was the founder and frontman of the Motown vocal group The Miracles, which he was also chief songwriter and producer. This 83-year-old singer has recently dropped a new album that he did his last album a decade ago. Again, he's 83 years old, and his new LP is called Gasms. Gasms. I'm giving Smokey Robinson so much credit for putting that word back on the block. At 83 years old, Smokey Robinson, he's a Motown legend. And again, his last album was like in 2014 with friends like Elton John, James Taylor, and John Legend. But this trend that he has started with his new album called Gasm, I am loving all of it. Smokey, bring your 83-year-old green-eyed singing tail out here and just show America what you can do. I am loving all of what he's bringing. But this word gasm, it is the new trend word. It means intensely explosive and pleasurable experience or thing, which, I'm sure he's talking about music, because at 83 years old, I'm hoping that he's just talking about music. Okay, but congratulations to you, Mr. Smokey Robinson. You keep doing your thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. I see you all out there, but I'm gonna speak to y'all, but I want the guys to come on in here. So if you all are ready, let's get on with the chat so I can bring my... What up?
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hey, y'all.
How you guys doing tonight?
I'm with you. I'm in a turtleneck. I did not expect to be in a turtle. Like, I'd put all this stuff away. So I'm with you, Alvin.
Bobby, I'm not lying. I defaulted my house. I mean, my closet. I defaulted my closet last weekend. And, I was just, I'm not ready to bring out, for those of you who all know, the bosom blouse, the bosom shirts yet. I'm not really ready to do that. But they're in a place where I can run and go, grab and go. If you need one. But yeah, I mean, this weather has just like changed drastically.
Yeah, I was not expecting to be back in this again, but it's cool and so yeah.
Well, it's good on you.
The weather does not turn warm until after April, like mid-May. Like we're gonna get into like mid-May, and then all of a sudden it's just gonna go boop, and it's gonna be hot.
It's gonna go what?
Boop.
And it's gonna do what?
Get hot.
So said Vash, the whole talk.
Okay.
Exactly. I love to watch the weather, so I pay attention. Yeah, we get hoodwinked. That last week when it was warm and everybody was like, "Oh, summertime." No, it ain't, honey.
Well, we got some folks who have joined us tonight. I said hello to Blue. I see a couple of new faces on here. One beautiful name I can't even pronounce. I'm not even going to do it because the name is just beautiful. I know the middle name is Jay and the last name is Moreno, but the first name, I'm not going to do it because it's just such a beautiful name. But how you doing, Jay? Welcome to the show. And there's Michi, Michelle Bowie, Sharon Green is here, Monica.
Hey, everybody.
Sean is here.
Sean.
We like it. We like it. We like it. We like it. Well, welcome to our Let's Get Newsy. Okay, y'all ready to get newsy on our folks?
Yeah, but I want him to tell us how to pronounce his name. You give it to us phonetically, so we know how to say your name.
Yes, because I want to say it.
So it's Saidi Germain.
Oh Lord.
That was not even close. So I do not mean any disrespect.
That was wrong.
Jay, I just want you to know that we are live and we are real, and we want to make sure that we acknowledge you in the right way, and by saying your name is the ultimate respect. So
absolutely.
But welcome to our show. Welcome to our show tonight. So what is going on in our newsy world?
Oh my God. Okay, so for some of you, I'm going to get us started tonight. For some of you, you may remember or heard about a little party that started down in Atlanta in 1983. It was known as Freaknik. And what started out as a small HBCU spring break kind of gathering in Atlanta picked up steam. And by the 90s, I mean, thousands would attend this annual celebration in the park. And I mean, when I say it was a party, I am not kidding you. It was a party. In fact, Hulu is about to release a documentary on Freaknik, and it's called Freaknik, The Wildest Party Never Told. And the issue that is on the table right now is that they are actually being sued by people to stop the release of the documentary. And part of it is that people are really, really concerned. And interestingly enough, more women actually than men. And I guess I can understand that given our society and how we respond to females' behavior versus that of males. But people are really concerned that their adolescent or young teenager or like young adult, I should say, behaviors will come back to haunt them. In other words, is the first lady of the church going to be seen twerking in this documentary, or the pastor seen rubbing up on somebody? There, people are really, really concerned that their behaviors were documented and will come back to haunt them.
Wow.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm going your route, Vash. Wow.
I mean, first of all, I am so glad that most of my behavior was before there were cameras.
Hallelujah.
Well, they thought it was before cameras too.
They did. They really did.
Yeah. Because if you, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but just there's a show that again, and I always want to say his name, but he's one of the chief musicians on Jimmy Fallon's show.
And you're talking Questlove that did
Questlove,
Summer of Soul.
Yeah. Summer of Soul. I mean, just think that tape. It was taped and put away in somebody's basement for 50 years,
right?
Only to be pulled out, and Questlove won an Oscar. Was it? What did he win a Grammy or an Oscar? Or
I think it was an Oscar. I think for
Oscar,
documentary.
Right?
Yeah.
He won an Oscar for that footage. So
in fact, he was overshadowed winning his Oscar because of something else that happened that night.
That was that night.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's kind of ridiculous. I wasn't the one twerking, but I mean, it's like,
exactly.
If you were young and going to spring break and doing your thing, that was then.
Yeah.
Your experiences of what you've done have made you who you are. I would hope that people would not harshly judge someone for being truly themselves in their college years, which is when you were supposed to let go and be a freak.
I agree. But if you are walking around today being holier than thou.
Well, I mean, but can't one grow?
Oh, yes, one should grow.
And one should never be judgmental anyway. So if you walk around acting holier than now, you need to be checked anyway.
Right. And if you and if you're still, if you haven't let go of those ways and you still doing it, and that will also play into your shame and guilt.
Yeah.
And that's something that you need to deal with. But I think to going as far as suing the producers or whoever, the Hulu or whoever is filming this, I think that's a bit much. And if you got that kind of time and money to do that, well, what were you doing?
Well, and go ahead, Vash. No, I was going to say it depends on what they captured you doing, I guess.
But you don't know what they're going to capture.
Right. Exactly. Well, so I know that there are 3 women in particular. Yes. One of them is like the CEO of this multi-million-dollar company, and she's just like, I don't think that I can be able to keep my business going if people
Stop.
So it raises the question: what was she doing?
Right.
What was she doing? Now, if I can't even, I don't even want to say, because I first of all, I'm sitting here thinking, do I have anything that I'm ashamed of that I've done going to some of the events that I went through growing up? And I'm not ashamed of one thing. You can take your hand off your face.
Because I'm like,
I'm just saying, I don't, nothing that I feel so ashamed about that, but
we've been friends long time. We've clubbed together.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I can't remember anything that I was ashamed of, but I do remember nights of dancing that I wouldn't necessarily like to see on Hulu.
Oh, they call that walk of shame.
Call it what you want. All I'm saying is.
What do you mean? Like nights on the dance floor or nights?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like I love to dance, and I danced more passionately, I would say, when I was younger than I might dance now. And all I'm saying is, like, again, I'm not ashamed, but
that's a bone issue now, though.
That's hilarious. Can you give us a demonstration?
Right. I mean, what did Sharon say?
Sharon said, what did Sharon say?
Sharon say that, look, if they get filmed to get caught, it might get them a show.
Hey.
Oh, wow.
Okay, right.
Wow, that's true.
It might be time for a career change and let that launch you into the new you that you have always been in the first place.
Wow.
Don't block your blessing and just turn that lemon into lemonade is what I'm saying. But what were you doing? What do you think you were doing that was so disastrous?
I don't know.
Now you as an adult, what were you?
I don't know.
Thank you. More on the lookout, Bobby, because you stay more in touch with that collegiate crowd. Can you please keep us abreast of what's happening?
I am happy to let you know what's going to happen with this Freaknik documentary.
Can you do that, please? Thank you so much.
Happy to do it, but we do have other news to get to today.
Bobby, I want to know if you find yourself all up in it, because I would like to make sure that we all share that.
And let me just say this to you, Vash, my brother.
Yes.
If Bobby Edwards shows up in the Hulu Freaknik documentary,
yes,
I will be the first to tell you, there I am right there.
Fly like an eagle to the sea.
Speaking of birds, what an amazing segue. Because the birds are trying to kill people flying in the sky.
Oh, no. Oh no!
It's not been a good week for flights.
It has not. Right? Like back in the day, like in the 2000s.
Oh Lord, look at that!
12 or 13 strikes per every 100,000 aircrafts was reported. But in like 2019, that jumped up to 22. And just this past week, we have had 3. 4 if you count international.
Wow, look at that. Did that bird actually break the fuselage?
Look. Yes. Look.
It didn't have a mask on and was convinced it was going to get on that plane. Let me on.
That bird was like, I am in first class.
Yeah, I have a ticket for this plane. And I'm coming.
Why am I laughing? I'm laughing partly out of fear, because I have been on a plane when birds have hit, and we have been flying somewhere, and birds have hit, but it hasn't been to a place where some of the stuff that we're seeing right now.
No.
And I think a lot of that is due to climate change. I think the climate change, because birds know what's going on before we do. You know what I'm saying? I think they know.
Are you suggesting that people are going to start running into planes? Is that like, what are you?
Well, not people, but I think the bird issue, I think that's something to take into consideration. And from what I have heard, that they're trying to come up with a way to mitigate that.
Yeah. I don't ever remember seeing a bird break the fuselage like that, though. I've heard that they've like flown into the engine or something, but I don't think I've ever seen a bird like stuck in the fuselage like that. That's wild.
It's pretty intense.
Well, Tippy Hedren.
Well, they're saying that
you're dating yourself.
A lot of this is because there's an increase in the large bird population, and the birds are not able to hear the engines because the engines are much quieter than what they've been in the past. But that bird looked like it was flying at it. Right? Like that plane did not sneak up on that bird. And all of a sudden the bird was like, oh, who are you? And all of a sudden ended up into the fuselage. So something is afoot. And
something is afoot.
Yeah. They're like, look, no clean air, no peace.
Did you say no clean air, no peace? You're gonna make me get up and run around this room.
Oh my God. And Blue points out that animals are in tune with the earth. Like there is a rhythm, there is a synchronization that goes on. But Vash, you did not just say no clean air.
He said no clean air, no peace.
It's gonna be that night.
Is it? But you know what? I'm here for it. Well,
and we just had Earth Day.
It was Earth Day, so they were like,
Earth Day. They were like, look, we're not feeling it. Not feeling it.
We're gonna make a change, and we're doing it this week.
Well, speaking of peace, DC is not at peace right now.
No,
because our chief of police, Robert Conti, has decided that he's going to resign, and he's resigning to become the new assistant director of partner engagement at the FBI. Now, Chief Conti of course, was appointed by Mayor Bowser in 2021, just 4 days prior to the attack of the U.S. Capitol building. But also think back now, he was still on the force during the time that we were going through the whole Black Lives Matter movement and all the protests that were coming up through there. And I'm sorry, Blue said he is retiring from the U.S. Capitol Police. I'm sorry, he is not moving on. He is retiring and to take this new position. But I am so proud of him and the work that he's done in this city for the short time that he has been the chief of police, because DC is off the chain right now with crime. And so I'm sure it wasn't easy for him to say, you know what, we're at this place right now. We got Congress, because DC is not a state. Congress is trying to tell DC what to do with their, with their laws about, how they are going to reprimand, people for the crimes that they do. And so he's competing against that. And so for him to say, okay, you know what, I got to leave. I'm glad that he saw it in himself to say, okay, wait a minute, I've done what I can do, and I need to get up out of here. But it was a surprise to everybody. No one knew that he was even
very much so.
To do that.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things they've also been talking about is that, as crime has continued to raise in metropolitan cities across the nation, the number of actual police officers continues to decline precipitously each year. And he is hundreds of police officers down over the last couple of years. And so the challenge of addressing a lot of these issues becomes harder and harder.
Right. And think of what they coming on 4 days before the attack on the Capitol, the insurrection, coming on 4 days before that, and not having the support of all the support that he needed, because they didn't even call in they declined the National Guard to come in to help out. And so he had to rely on the police officers. And just to go through all that, I'm just so happy for him. It is really a big deal. I didn't think it was as much of a big deal when it first happened. I was like, okay, he's resigning. But it is clearly bigger than what I thought. So, I definitely want to wish him well. I definitely, want to.
Do you know where he's going on to
Yeah, he's going to the FBI. He's going to be the assistant director of partner engagement at the FBI.
Nice.
Well, so he's taking on a job. And for those of you who want to Google Robert Conti, there are some YouTube clips out there, him giving his speech this week. I urge you to go and listen to it, because he said some things like, he has to stand up. He said, I stand here with my chest poked out.
Head held high and chest out. Yep.
I did a good job. I did a good job. And if you all don't mind, I do want to take a moment. I did pull something that Mayor Bowser, she said, and I just want to read it to you all real quick. She said that on behalf of our city, I want to congratulate Chief Conti on his retirement and thank him for his service to DC, for leading the MPD with passion and purpose. He has pushed our criminal justice system to do more and to be better. He has led the MPD through an incredibly challenging time for our country, from the pandemic to January 6th, and navigating the effects of a shrinking department during a time when gun violence is exploding across the nation. He has been a phenomenal ambassador of what it means to be a police officer in DC. Brilliant, compassionate, and determined to build a DC where all people feel safe and are safe. And we have clearly said that in our discussion tonight. So
absolutely.
Congratulations, Robert Conti.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. All right.
Good luck.
Right.
Okay,
and that's a DC wrap.
That's a DC wrap. That's a DC wrap. That's a DC rap. Okay. And
I'm sorry. Did I say he was a native also? I'm sorry. I had to plug that too.
He is indeed a native Washingtonian.
Yes, he is.
We're going to give him all his DC due. Absolutely. All right. Us native Washingtonians got to stick together. That's right.
Is that the DC dance?
It's a go-go version.
Okay. I just want to make sure that when I watch Freaknik, I want to know what I'm looking for.
Oh no, they weren't doing they weren't doing a go-go.
That wasn't it.
Okay.
You're from DC, you know go-go, but that ain't good. That ain't what. That is not what would cause a lawsuit. That move right there.
Just checking.
But in other news, it was a week of a lot of change. And if you were looking at the world of journalism in particular, there were a lot of changes going on. And one of them was the NBC Universal Studios CEO. His name was Jeff Shell, was fired for an inappropriate relationship with a correspondent there at NBC. And there are many who believe that, a person at his level in the corporation would not have automatically been fired simply because of this inappropriate relationship. There is speculation that there was a lot more that's either coming out between he and other female employees. But it was the first of several big changes in the world of journalism that we experienced, that we saw this week.
I have to say something about this. Can we go back to that first picture of him?
Mm-hmm.
This is what he looks like now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
This is what he looks like now. And so
you see the woman that he supposedly had the inappropriate relationship with.
Was that her, or was that is this his wife?
I think that is Hadley Gamble. She's an Abu Dhabi-based senior international correspondent at CNBC.
Oh, and so is this the person that he had the affair with?
Yes, I believe that is she.
Oh, okay.
And it being inappropriate, obviously, because of his role, I guess, in the corporation.
Huh. Okay. Was he her boss?
Yeah. What?
Was he? I believe so. Yes. And there's accusations that he has engaged in inappropriate behavior with a number of women, supposedly. I think it's kind of like in that spirit of some of the accusations that were made around like TJ Holmes and women, and when you're in a position of seniority within these corporations, that it calls that behavior into question.
It must be money. It must be money here, because just say no. It must be money. Money and power must have driven these women to say yes.
Yeah. Moving on to
I was like, you are never one to be like without he's like
I just don't want to say anything inappropriate, because moving on to, we also witnessed Tucker Carlson and Fox News parting ways on Monday. Now, it was reported that it was a mutually agreed upon separation, but y'all all know that time reveals the truth. And news outlets are reporting that Carlson was fired on the personal order of Fox owner Rupert Murdoch for, among other reasons, using vulgar language to describe a female executive. And it seems to also be connected to a lawsuit filed by his former senior booking producer, Abby Grossberg, who claimed that she faced sexism and a hostile work environment. Now, Carlson has been relatively quiet about his departure, in part because of threats from Fox that they would release text messages that were uncovered and redacted during the defamation lawsuit filed by Dominion Voting Systems against Fox News.
Wow.
So there's a lot more to be uncovered. So on
Fox
Monday,
is using that to keep him quiet, you're saying?
They've said, look, you act up, we're going to release these text messages. And Carlson was like, boop, boop. So on Monday, Fox immediately replaced his time slot with a rotating roster of hosts until a permanent host can be found. Wow. But in a video on Wednesday, Carlson implied to his fans that they have not seen the last of him. And just like a fungus, I am sure he is right.
Ow! A lot of people have been talking about the $785 million that Fox had to give up, that played a part into it, and how that was just like a drop in the bucket. But ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, it is $785 million. Okay. And if Fox had to do something to help recoup that cash, they came up with a plan to get rid of Tucker Carlson, because he was, bye.
But he was their most popular host.
Exactly.
And they lost revenue as a result. So I think that there were definitely other reasons
that he was
to get rid of him. I mean, and to use it as an excuse to clean house. So
yes,
you know, but
and where there's smoke,
some hot britches.
And I was gonna say fire, but
and you know, they say some of the wildest things come in threes. Yes. And so right after Tucker was sent out to the streets,
here goes.
my favorite, I call him my Diana Ross of journalism.
Oh wow.
But 57-year-old Don Lemon was terminated as anchor, at his role as anchor at CNN on this past Monday, just 6 months after his move to CNN This Morning with his co-hosts Caitlin Collins and Poppy Harlow.
Yeah.
The news came after, though, according to Variety, a story about allegations that he mistreated his female colleagues over his career there. And earlier this year, he faced backlash over widely criticized comments that he made on air about a female GOP representative, something to do with her not being in her prime. Lemon also announced on the news on Twitter that he was informed by his agent that he was being terminated and felt like he deserved much better than that. I'm going to say that I think it was a setup for him to move from that night show to that day show. And I don't mean no harm, but if I got to sit next to a Caitlin and a Poppy, I'm going to keep my eyes open. Okay? Something about that just didn't even dawn. Caitlin and Poppy. It never resonated with me. And
it seemed like a demotion, and it seemed like something to get him eventually out. So at a situation like that, when you're hosting your own show and you got your own gig and you got your own team, and then they're like, hey, go hang out with these chicks.
You didn't see that coming?
Let me get my resume together.
Look, I just think, I just think he allowed that hole to be dug. I don't know if he had any, what his powers were to prevent that from happening, but he decided to move to that different spot or slot.
Take a try.
I think, okay, so I hope, here's my prediction before we move on about Tucker and Lemon. I think Tucker and Lemon should do a show called Lem Tuck, and they could come together to do a bipartisan talk show. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, what better way to gap some of the the division that we have in America? And just
they might fight.
I think,
They might fight.
That might be some great reality TV show that I think that they could make money from. Now, you heard it first on He Said live, but I think they should do a show called Lem Tuck.
And one of the things that I love about our show is that it's called He Said for a reason, because we have different opinions about most things that we talk about. I would walk on hot coals before I did a show with Tucker Carlson. He is the epitome of what any journalist would never want to be associated with. That man lies knowingly, and your credibility as a journalist sitting next to him on a daily basis would signify you totally compromising your integrity as a journalist. I would never do anything with Tucker Carlson. I studied journalism in school, and there is nothing that he does that supports any type of ethical, moral commitment to journalism and telling the truth. Ixnay.
Well, that sounds
I'm giving you my Tucker face.
That sounds like Housewives of Atlanta. I say go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
No, I can understand why you feel that way. I mean, it's definitely true. And viewers, if you all got something that you all want to say about Lemon Tucker, and who's that other person?
That's Shell, Mr. Shell, Jim Shell.
Say that real fast. Lemon Tucker Shell. If you all want to say something about any of them, go ahead and throw it out there, because I know you all have some opinions. But for all of this to happen in 3 weeks, in the world, I mean, in 1 week in the world of journalism, was pretty epic.
But it also speaks about male behavior in this industry as well. Look, all of them have some level of accusation of inappropriate behavior with their female counterparts. I think that's interesting too.
Well, and the thing is, Don's gay, so it wasn't like it was sexual. He was just.
I didn't say sexual.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, like, so it's just. I guess it's just men being stupid. I don't even get it. But you know, I found it odd that a left wing and a right wing TV personality / journalist were let go on the same day, as if to give both sides something to be happy about and both sides something to point and laugh at. So to me, I was just like, wow, isn't this so manipulative? I mean, to think that it was a coincidence, I think not. I think not.
You don't think it was a poof?
That they both decided, hey, this is the right thing to do, and it just happened? No, I just think that there's more control at a higher level, and they were just like, look, let's just do this both on the same day.
And we all know about that control up there with that pin that they write. So especially, yes, we do. All right.
Maybe it was the AI, because we were talking about AI. AI was like, look, this is what you should do.
This is what
happens. This is what you should do.
So do it this way.
So are you guys familiar with AI?
I am a little bit, not enough to say, okay, I'm gonna go get a job in artificial intelligence, but
no, I'm not that familiar. I'm familiar with it and various forms of it, but I'm not ready to teach a class either.
Yeah.
Well, let me just sort of give you a quick overview of general what AI is. It's computer science concerned with building smart machines that are capable of doing things and performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, right? And human intelligence is kind of tricky to define, which is why AI is typically distinguished between two different types. There's a weak AI, and then there's a strong AI. And weak AI operates within like a limited context that is applied to like normal problem solving. Driving a car, transcribing human speech, curating websites. Examples of weak AI are like Siri and Alexa, self-driving cars, Google searches, email spam filters. Those are like weak AIs. Strong AIs would be like a machine that can solve problems that it's never been trained to work on, like a human could do. These kinds of AIs we see in movies and robots like Westworld or like Data from Star Trek Next Generation. Okay. And we're kind of told that those AIs really don't exist. But remember back in July of 2022, when the Google engineer Blake Lemoine went public, when he said, hey, this AI that I'm working on is sentient. Now, the AI industry continues to tell us not to worry. But as recently as this year, Elon Musk warned us in an interview that AI has the potential, however small, it's not trivial, it has the potential of civilization destruction. Now, AI sites and apps and applications continue to increase. What are you guys' thoughts about AI? Are you using it? Are you afraid of it?
I'm a pretty innovative kind of person. So for what I know about AI, and one of the questions that I ask myself to at least get on this page to talk about it is why is it important? Why is it important to me? And for what my takeaway was that AI in the world of innovation, that it enhances speed, precision, and effectiveness of human efforts. So that almost sounds like replacing someone, but in a financial way, AI can be used to identify transactions that are likely to be fraudulent, adopt fast and accurate credit scoring. So to that degree, I understand AI, but is it a threat to replacing people to do jobs that humans are doing right now?
In some ways, but so are robots. I mean, we've got robotics that have been doing things. I mean, there's even a McDonald's, I think, in Vegas that's all robotic.
Wow.
You drive. You can do a drive-through. You order. You place your order. Everything's made. It's packed up. It's delivered to you. No human beings are in that facility,
which is interesting.
And Amazon. That's almost like the last McDonald's that I went in when we were traveling. Really, there was like the people back there cooking, but ordering. You paid at a thing. You know, you paid your kiosk or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, okay. So, I mean, I'm not afraid of it, especially if it makes it convenient and I can get things better and quicker.
I think the concern is that every time someone is talking to an AI or doing something to AI, they say that it eventually sees human beings as being bugs and a virus, and that the better way to do anything or to get anything done in a more efficient way is to do it without us. So I think that is kind of the concern. And I know we get this fear mongering from things like the movie Terminator, which is all about the AI and Skylink and uploading all the information and the AI becoming sentient and self-aware. But we continue to have people tell us, you need to watch out for that over there.
I was just going to say, we just got a little message from the control room saying that Terminator has obviously taught us nothing. So.
Nothing.
Absolutely
nothing. At all. Nothing. I'm definitely for it. My ears are open, especially because we talked about it on the show. And, you know, thank you, Vash, for that reporting, because I don't know enough about it, but you put it in a way where I definitely I feel like I need to do a little bit more research, because you call it weak and strong AI. You gave it a separation. Yeah. So that has kind of piqued my curiosity. So.
I will say very quickly also from the perspective of an educator, that one of the forms of AI right now that it is getting a lot of buzz is ChatGPT. And it's a form of being able to really write and author pretty much anything you want. Like you can literally, and there are a lot of educators right now who are debating, embrace it, be afraid of it, you know, but folks are being able to literally say, you know, I have an English paper due on the value of water conservation. And, you know, it has to be 2 pages long or whatever, like, and it will literally write your 2-page paper. People who have said, you know, I have a speech at a wedding for my brother's, I'm making a toast at my brother's wedding, and I love him and we've always been close. I need a toast, a quick toast. Literally, it will write the toast for you.
And the thing is, there are other AI sites that you can take what ChatGPT has written, because for the most part, it's obvious that it's written by AI, but there's another site that you can upload that to, and it will rewrite it so that it cannot be detected as being AI.
Which is scary. But we've done a couple of exercises at school with ChatGPT, and it's not always, it doesn't all necessarily capture the feeling sometimes, but it's well written.
It's enough for you to have a first draft that you can go back through and then tweak it so that it sounds like you.
Like you, yeah.
Sharon said that like AI robots that learn how to play soccer. But
I saw that.
That's true. It's like these things can actually learn. And when we're putting them in bodies, like we're giving AI bodies. They've got the little dog things that are going around that they can use when there's an accident or a tornado to try to find human beings. You know, we're very, very close to having those things roaming the planet, dealing with law enforcement, and you know,
well,
the yin and yang of it needs to be watched.
More to be said on AI. It's not going anywhere, and so I urge you all to, like, as I will, please learn as much as you can about it, because it is definitely the new. It's the rage. That's all I can say. It's the rage. So So what else is happening?
Well, you know, there's an election coming up, and already people are starting to throw their hats in the ring. And one of the questions that people are asking is, really? Are the two front runners Joe Biden and Agent Orange, who, you know, I never called his name. But the whole question is, there are people who are having concerns about whether or not this man is too old to take on a second term as the president of the United States of America, and raising the question as to whether or not, you know, his physical capacities are sufficient to be in the high level decision making position that he would be in.
Go ahead, Vash.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
I was just simply going to say his age and his ability to sort of make those decisions. Can he do it? Yes. But is there someone better? Is there someone better to represent the people, the country, who we are, where we're going, that is not an over 65 or 70-year-old white man? There's enough. There should be more choices.
We got a lot of people in this country. There should be more than the two choices, I believe, that we keep
who
getting.
Are 70 plus white men. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and I'm going to say to that. Okay, this sounds like a cliche. I'm going to say I agree with you guys, but who are these people? Who are these people? These other people? You know what I'm saying? We don't know who they are. I think there are people there. There are people who may be capable to run against him, but they're not there. And if I had to have a decision, we get down to we don't have anybody else, to do it. As much as I would not want to see Joe Biden, because he's getting older, to be the next president. I don't want to, vote in another aging white man into that position. Before I will see Donald Trump get it, I'm sorry, Joe Biden will be 100. I'll push him I will push him in a wheelchair. If they gave me the job, I will take it before I would, vote Donald Trump or sit back and not vote.
Right.
And Donald Trump gets in that seat. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Right. Because until someone comes up and show me different, and whoever they are, but I don't know where they are.
Well, the primaries will come, and there will be other people who will likely throw their hats in the ring. But and I hear what you're saying. I certainly don't want to see Agent Orange back in the White House under any condition. But I do feel weary of a system and a society that continues to perpetuate a very, very, very narrow perception of who is positioned to lead us as a nation. It's there, as I said, there are a lot of people in this country, and I'd like to believe that they don't always have to be elderly white men.
Right. Well,
the debate
Barack
needs to have a
Obama
twerking competition. That's what I would like to have.
Stop it.
Are you bringing us back to Freaknik?
It will always come back to Freaknik.
See, you know what? That sounds like there was a song, something about something. When you said twerking, all I kept thinking about was something falling. I was seeing a dance and somebody dropping it like it's hot. Okay, so that
or a death drop at a ball at one of the death drops. Bam,
boom.
That is an ultimate segue to one of our major headlines that I'm going to report on, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, I don't know if you all were looking at the news, but in New York, you all need to be aware. A parking garage partially collapsed in the financial district of Manhattan in New York City, on April the 18th, resulting in one death of a building manager by the name of Willis Moore and injuring 5 other people. An employee who survived and said that Moore himself had been trying to warn the owners of the building about the issue because they had found cracks in the floor.
Ooh.
And professional engineers who inspect garages say there may be more buildings in New York City that are that need immediate fixing. But these pictures say the same. I mean, these pictures are to be walking down the street and a building crack and cars start falling out of the sky. You can't make that up. And I've been in New York on Fashion Avenue walking, and I have seen a woman fall into a grate walking down the street.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's unsafe to be in New York. All I'm saying is,
but actually, you are.
Yeah. I know. I just because the same thing can happen with how fast they're building these buildings here. But I'm just saying that to be walking down the street in New York and all of a sudden cars are coming flying. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have anything else to say on that subject except we need to bring this to your attention when you all decide to drive to New York. You may want to take the bus.
You are.
That's hilarious. Or park on the street.
Or park on the street. You may want to take the train. So that I just want to bring it to y'all's attention that this is happening. All right.
Thank you very much. I'll remember that. Okay, so got some entertainment headlines that we want to pick up as well.
Yes.
I want to do a very, very quick and succinct review of a film that I actually went to go see immediately after our show last week, and I really, really loved it. It's called. The name of the film is Chevalier. And it is an incredible true story of violin virtuoso Joseph Bologna, Chevalier de St. George's. He was the illegitimate son of an African slave and a French plantation owner. And Bologna is played here by Kelvin Harrison Jr. in a tour de force performance. He rises to improbable heights in French society as a celebrated violinist, composer, and fencer. And complete with an ill-fated love affair and a falling out with, of all people, Marie Antoinette, whom he becomes quite close with in her court. And the film is rich, beautifully filmed. I love period films, and so the costumes, the music, all of it. And yet there's some reoccurring themes. There are 3 central love interests in his life or relationships that are profound. Particularly around, as we look at the issue of race globally, not just in the United States of America. As I said, he was a biracial person, yet obviously raised as a Black person and treated as a Black person. He rose to extraordinary heights in French society, and yet at the same time, his race was always an obstacle for him, no matter what. And so it is a rich film of extraordinary music. And most importantly, a history that once again is not taught. For this man to have risen to the heights that he did at that period, again, becoming close friends with the Queen, Marie Antoinette, is extraordinary because there were so many reasons that he should have never gotten where he got. It's a wonderful testimony of the resilience of Black people and Black excellence. And it's a great film.
Well, I'm going to see it. Thank you for that critique. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to see it. So I didn't even know that it was out until you said it last week.
Yes.
So I'm going to check it out.
I like the name. Exactly.
I do.
Well, keeping with our look at the world of entertainment, have you guys heard that Red Table Talk has been canceled?
I did. Yeah.
Well, it's following Meta's decision to shut down all its Facebook Watch original programming. Right. So it's not like they just decided to cancel Red Table Talk, all their shows, and there are a number of them have been canceled. And if you go to the Red Table Talk Facebook page, you can see a statement from Jada Pinkett Smith. She says, "We are so grateful to have had such a beautiful partnership, and we are sorry to see the entire team disband." She also says, "We wish everyone well in their new journeys and that they are in talks to find a new home." So the show is canceled from Meta, but it'll probably end up somewhere in syndication or somewhere else where you can see it, because it was a very well-loved show.
I will miss the Red Table. I really will. I think there were some things that have happened in their personal lives that, for me, lessened kind of like the validity of the table. That whole notion of coming to the Red Table with truth, transparency, authenticity, all those things. But there were many episodes that I really appreciated.
Well, I hope it gets syndicated in some way, because there's a lot of people who don't have access to Facebook and how it was the medium that on. So I hope it gets syndicated. I really thought it was a great show, and I definitely like to see more of it. And I wish them well. And speaking of great show, next week is the 2023 Met Gala. It will take place on May the 1st in New York City. We all know that, the Met Gala brings out the most lavish, outrageous couture.
Absolutely.
Some of it is not even couture, but they come in rare form. And this year The theme is Karl Lagerfeld, A Line of Beauty. And I wanted to say, I shared with Vash and team, we will have a special guest next week who will be giving his critique of the Met Ball. And I don't want to give it away. You all can see it in promo. Follow us. But it is next week. I can't believe that we've gotten around to the Met Ball already. It seemed like it just yesterday.
Can I ask you a question? Alvin, those of us who know you know that you have produced extraordinary fashion shows. You are very fashion forward, inclined, and so forth. There are times that I watch the Met Gala, and I think sometimes when there's a theme, this is Bobbie, that the costumery, if you will, can I want to look at it and see glam. I want to see beauty. And sometimes I enjoy some of the fun of the costumery, but some years it seems to have taken away from the beauty of it. I'm thinking with Karl Lagerfeld being the focus this year, that this year might be one that there's just more beauty and glam, like construction, looking at a beautiful constructed outfit might be something that may be more so the theme this time. Do you think that's possible?
I think we'll have to see, because I think it will raise the level of what we've been seeing in terms of the costuming. But Karl Lagerfeld has been costumey also in a sense. Okay. His couture has, he was kind of the first, but it was always glam. Yeah. It was always glam. So, but I think it's going to be a different twist, something different from what we've seen before, and that's why I thought next week taking a different approach on how we present our do's and don'ts.
It's always a good night.
It would be a good night. So yeah, I think we would.
To the Met Gala. Are you going?
Yeah, right here at he said.
I was wondering what you were going to wear to the Met
Gala. No, we have to talk about some celebrity deaths before we get off of here tonight. No, that would be the death of me to go to the Met Gala next week. Okay, it would.
Don't go
because I'm not ready.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so there are some celebrity deaths that we need to cover, including former Cincinnati mayor and talk show host Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer, the father, if you will, of the salacious television show, coined the term "you are." No, I'm just kidding. You are the father. No, but so many interesting 5 minutes of fame were presented to people, and he created a style of television shows that certainly separated him from the general typical talk show hosts. And so it was not everybody's taste, but it was certainly very popular. And we wish his family the very best, and our condolences to all who enjoyed and loved the infamous Jerry Springer show.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I will say, if you can find it online, because it's not in production right now, but there's the Jerry Springer opera.
Oh yeah, he sang
like,
well.
But there's a show called the Jerry Springer opera, which was like being at a Jerry Springer show, and there's a showstopper.
Oh, they did a show about. Okay, got it.
Showstopper number, I Just Want to Dance. It's about a girl who's dating this guy and she doesn't want to be with him anymore. She just wants to dance, and it's a show-stopping number. Anyway, if you can find it online, I tried to find it on YouTube so I could share the link, but it's not there anymore.
Wow.
Find it. It was like being at a Jerry Springer show. I saw it 3 times. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Well, rest in peace and power, Jerry Springer.
Rest in peace, yes, Jerry Springer.
Well, we also, Harry Belafonte, the dashing singer, actor, and activist who became an indispensable supporter of the civil rights movement, has died as well. He was 96 years old.
Wow.
He was dubbed the King of Calypso after his groundbreaking hit in 1956, the Banana Boat song. Y'all remember Dale?
It starts off Dale.
Dale.
We want to go home. We want to go. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yes.
He also became a movie star after acting in the film adaptation of the Broadway musical Carmen Jones. But his biggest contributions took place off stage. He was a key strategist and fundraiser and mediator for the civil rights movement. Yep. He became a close friend of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who often retired to Belafonte's palatial New York apartment to talk strategy and to escape the pressures of the civil rights movement. Belafonte's political consciousness was shaped by the experience of growing up as an impoverished son of a poor Jamaican mother who worked as a domestic servant. He was quoted as saying, "I was an activist long before I became an artist. They both service each other, but the activism is first." Belafonte saw the civil rights movement as a global struggle. He led a campaign against apartheid in South Africa. He mobilized support for the fight against HIV/AIDS and became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. He also came up with the idea for recording the 1985 hit song, "We Are the World," which assembled an amazing group of pop and rock stars, including Bob Dylan, Michael Jackson, and Bruce Springsteen, to raise money to fight the famine in Africa. So we lost a great entertainer, but also an amazing human being. So tonight we honor Harry Belafonte.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen. What an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
Bobby mentioned my fashion career. I did many years ago. I did the Lee Elder Invitational Golf Tournament in North Carolina, and Harry Belafonte and Johnny Mathis were both the headliner.
Oh, wow.
So it was to have both of them in that. I have to find those pictures. It was an amazing time of my little fashion career. Well, thank you guys for this episode of Let's Get Newsy. We sure got newsy tonight. Okay,
we did.
We hope that all of you viewers have gotten some from our show tonight, at least our opinion on how we see it and how it happened. Next week, May the 5th, we had the opportunity from last week. We had the I Am Awards that were here that honored the amazing artists in the LGBTQIA+ community. Next week, we have the creator and the innovative Mr. Antonio Driver. He's the executive director of Speak Out USA. And again, he created the I Am Awards. He will be with us next week. And we also have another special guest who will be joining him. We have someone who wants to come in who actually won an award during the I Am Awards, and they will be with us next week as well.
Work.
Yes. So next, to end the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, our words of the week this week from our illustrious co-host Bobby. It is certain in any case that ignorance allied with power is the most ferocious enemy justice can have, and those are words from the incredible James Baldwin, ladies and gentlemen. So Baldwin. Well, thank you guys. Love you much. Stay warm this weekend. Stay dry.
Wakanda.
Wakanda. And can I announce Bobby will not be with us next week. He is traveling and he won't be with us, and we will miss your soul.
I will miss you guys. I will.
Working it frequent.
But we will.
I'll be reviewing the documentary to see if I'm in it. No, I'll be up north in Massachusetts, going back to my old stomping grounds.
Well, we will hold it down as much as we can, and we will look forward to seeing our beautiful audience and viewers on the next episode of He Said.
He said.
You all be good now. Have a good weekend.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Oh,
wow. That is perfect.
Who did